Hello, welcome. Am I audible now? Hmm. Am I audible now? Can y'all hear me now? Hmm. It's working on my phone for some reason. Is it like a network thing? Yeah. Oh, good. It's working. Yay. Hello, everyone. We could finally get this party started. No, I was just like, hoo 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 hoo, because I can't whistle. I was not playing with a straw. I don't have like a straw in here. So, let me explain what the situation was. So, as y'all know, I live on my parents' property in a separate little apartment thing. My parents and my brother have their own little Wi-Fi connection. And it is absolute peanuts when I connect to it from my apartment. So I bought a Wi-Fi. I forgot if it's a replicator or a booster, but either way, it increases my Wi-Fi signal so I can connect normally through their internet, obviously. So what happened was that my laptop has a nasty habit of sometimes automatically switching to the other network, my parents' network. So that was the problem this whole time. That was what was wrong. I hate it. I really should set it up so it doesn't do that again. Do not auto join that network ever again. It absolutely sucks. Where is it? I know it's here somewhere. There's a 9 in the title. Here it is. Do not auto join. Okay. Do not. So today, as we promised, we're going to be reading that Danish royal fanfiction, Destined to Love. Alice Christensen is diagnosed with leukemia. To secure a bone marrow donation, she makes a marriage pact with the young Prince André of Denmark, but that was nearly 3 years ago. And now Prince André wants Alice to fulfill her promise to him. I wanted to read this one because it promises a plot. So, I'm legit curious to see like how this is going to go. And you were right, Super Dark. I don't think bone marrow donations work like that. I have been fortunate enough to have never needed a bone marrow transplant, nor do I know anyone who had a bone marrow transplant, but I do have like a basic understanding on how transplantation works. Hello, Roxanne, welcome! I finally got the stream working. Hello, everyone! So, without further ado, let's read this now. Let's start reading it now before it crops again. So, Destined to Love. This is the cover by Lovely Angels because we absolutely... I was contacted by a bone marrow donation thing because they wanted my marrow. They just scrape a bit from the donor's bones after open... I'm sorry, I can be a little, like, squeamish. Anyway, cast background information. Nadek Kugimiya as Prince André of Denmark. André Henrik Waldemar Frederik, born 11 June 1996, is a member of the Danish royal family. He is the elder son of Prince Joachim and his first wife Alexandra, Countess of Frederiksberg. He is currently 7th in line of succession to the Danish throne. At the time of his birth, he was 3rd after his uncle and father. The prince's first language is Danish, but he also speaks French, English, and German. Hooray. Uriasa Spurbund as Alice Christensen. Alice Vivian Lux Christensen, 18 October 1996, is a Thai of Norwegian descent model, businesswoman, and socialite. She is fluent in Thai, Danish, English, Spanish, French, and Norwegian. Uno. I feel like the authors are projecting when they made this character. And 2, if she's already a socialite, why does she have to go into a marriage pact with some prince in order to secure a bone marrow transplant? Shouldn't she pay her way through the system already? The moment I was enlisted to the army, I was highly encouraged to sign a marrow donor thing. So it was like voluntary de facto, but mandatory de jure. Is that right, Super Dark? Danish royal family is the dynastic family of the monarch. All members... She's apparently real? Alice Christensen's real? I mean, I guess. Oh, you're talking about the actress. No, I was not questioning the existence of the actress. I wasn't. I figured that Uriasaya was real, okay? Like, they've been using, like, actors for all of their little characters. I was not questioning the actress's existence. Let me make that very clear. The Queen and her siblings belong to the House of Glücksburg, which is a branch of the Royal House of Oldenburg. The Queen's children and male line descendants belong agnatically to the family de Laborde de Montpezat and were given the concurrent title Countess of Montpezat by royal decree on 30 April 2008. They enjoy remarkably high approval ratings in Denmark, ranging between 82% and 92%. Deja vu, anybody? I forgot they did their whole casting thing. One of these days, for like an absolute joke video, I want to like dissect the tropes in these fan fictions because I feel like they're about the same thing. Anyway, that's just already what the summary was. We get to go to the photo gallery now. Look how realistic this is! Can't you feel the love between them? Feel the love! Oh boy! That looks totally realistic. I totally believe this could have happened. Look at how different the shading is between these two. Their colors don't even match up. That's how you get the Habsburgs. Like, Decipherin, you're Austrian, right? Don't the Habsburgs still exist to a degree? Because I feel like you mentioned that somewhere. Don't the Habsburgs still exist? Okay, that one looks better. That one looks pretty real. That one does not look real. That one totally looks real. So does that one. Okay. Are these people like dating in real life? I do not know. And at this point, I don't care. Let's just get the story started. I'm Puerto Rican from New York, lived in Germany. Oh. Oh. You know what? I think I confused you for someone else. Okay. I'm sorry, Decipherin. I don't know why I thought you were Austrian. I'm sorry. But I really am. Prologue. 3 years ago. 21 June 2016. Alice sits at Mr. J... that's who was the Austrian one. Mr. JPEG's Austrian. Okay. Now that we're on the same page, Alice sits in the doctor's office with a quizzical look on her face. She's 20 and healthy. Her whole life is ahead of her. No, now she's 20 and she has leukemia. Her whole life it was ahead of her. Leukemia? I have leukemia? How is this possible? Alice asked the doctor as she read the results in her hands. Okay. Let me show y'all something, lovely angels. There's a thing you can do when you hold down the A key on a MacBook and press 5. See that? That's the official lettering for leukemia. If you're like British or something, I think. Am I an idiot? Yeah, I'm an idiot. At least this all sounds original so far. Alice had been feeling ill for a few weeks now, and it was only when she'd passed out at an office meeting that she had gone to see a doctor via ambulance. How on earth could I have leukemia? Alice asked, incredulous in the doctor's office. Alice, you've been diagnosed with acute leukemia. And I'm gonna keep pronouncing it like that until they spell it correctly. Listen, Alice, damage to the bone marrow by way of displacing the normal bone marrow cells with higher numbers of immature white blood cells results in a lack of blood platelets, which are important in the blood clotting process. Dr. Thorborn Bjergård said. Alice nods as Dr. Bjergård, remember his first name is Thorbjorn, continues to talk. So what happens now? Alice asked. We need to find a donor for you, Dr. Bjergård answered. What if we can't find a donor? Will I die? Alice asked in a low tone as she looked into the doctor's eyes. No. We will find you a donor, Alice, Dr. Bjergård answered. She was diagnosed with leukemia. How was I diagnosed with leukemia? I diagnosed you with leukemia! Now we can see why they always copy-paste press releases. Here we have a nice gift from somewhere, I don't know. What did the doctor say, Alice? Her sister, Clenice, asked. I'm going to die, Alice exclaimed, tearing up as she handed her older sister, Clenice, her results. The doctor did not say you were going to die. The doctor just said you need a bone marrow transplant. Stop overreacting. God damn. I feel kind of bad. But then again, this is just a fictional character. She's not real. Shocked silence fills the air. I have leukemia, Alice said. Oh no, Alice, this cannot be happening. How do we treat it? Clenice asked her younger sister. We had to find a donor, Clenice, Alice answered. Alice? Clenice asked. What? Alice replied. Your nose is bleeding, Clenice said. The laws of this world these stories are in. Yeah, they're weird. That's why I wanted to make a video about these videos, because, like, they run by weird rules. I feel kind of dehydrated right now, and I don't know why. Shit, Alice said as she grabbed a tissue before once again tilting her head back and plugging her nose with tissue. Is this a side effect of your leukemia? Clenice asked. Yes, Alice answered. We'll find a donor, Clenice said, hugging Alice. Remember that they're socialites, so they could easily just cheat the system, okay? Like, that's how the world works. These are superficial emotional responses to situations like ones that are socially expected of people, not what people actually feel. Yeah. I mean, I figure that the lovely angels are either terrible writers or have no idea how human emotions work. Part of me thinks that it's both. And if we don't, Alice asked, I don't know, but I don't want you to blame yourself. You will make it through this, Alice, Clenice answered. I still do not know why this requires a marriage pact. Like, this has not been made clear to me. Star. 21 September 2016. Thank you for coming in, Alice, Dr. Beauregard said. Clenice held Alice's hand as they prepared to hear the bad news from Dr. Beauregard. Remember, his first name has Bjorn in it. Tell me the bad news, Dr. Beauregard, Alice said. Alice, there's no bad news, Dr. Beauregard said, smiling. What do you mean, Alice asked. I called you in today because we found a match for you, Alice. You have a donor, Dr. Beauregard answered. Please tell me you're lying, Alice said as she started crying. Clenice handed her a tissue to wipe her tears. No, a young man who ended up in my emergency room matched. He wants to talk to you, Dr. Beauregard said. Remember, his first name has Bjorn in it. Why? Clenice asked. I want to talk to him, Alice said, ignoring Clenice's question. Alice, Clenice said. No, I have to meet him, Alice said. Well, he wants to meet you too, so... It's 2020 BC, and the only way to sign a contract is a handshake and a chain of gods and maidens. No, this is 2016 BC. Get it right, DSI friend. Then again, I am the person who thought you were rostered. Think about bone marrow. They rely on ultra-specific genetic stuff. Like, again, I've been fortunate enough to have never needed a bone marrow transplant, so I don't really have much of an idea of how it works. But I still feel like they're rich enough to abuse the system and be able to find a donor in relatively little time. Like the level of Jewish people from the Jewish community of Egypt who live in 3 neighborhoods. Alright. I would gladly take you to meet him, Dr. Beauregard said. Thank you, Alice said, standing up. Please, wait for me here, Clinese. Alice added as Dr. Biergard leads her out of his office and down the hall where two men dressed in black stand guarding the door. Why are they guarding the door? Alice asked. Your donor is a very important person. Dr. Biergard answered. Dr. Biergard, here to see the patient, Dr. Biergard, to the bodyguards who look over at Alice. She's with me. She's the one, he's donating to, Dr. Biergard added. The bodyguard on the left opened the door and Dr. Biergard and Alice walk into the room to find a young man laying in bed with a cast on his leg. Mr. Labor de Montbazat, this is Alice Christensen. She's the one you will be donating to, Mr. Biergard said. Mr. Labor de Montbazat looks over at Alice and smiles. Hello, Alice. It's nice to meet you, he said. It's nice to meet you, Mr. Labor de Montbazat, Alice said. Please call me Andre, Andre said. I will leave you two to talk, Dr. Biergard said, walking out of the room. Please take a seat, Andre said. Andre, I want to thank you for doing this for me. I know we don't know each other, but I want you to know that I will be forever in debt to you for doing this, Alice said. I know, and that is why I have a proposition for you, Andre said. Because Andre is apparently an asshole who cannot just do things out of goodness of his heart. He has to enter into a marriage pact. What are you reading? My Dinner with Andre? No, this is, I have no idea why it's this zoomed in, but it's Destined to Love, Danish royal family fanfiction. Oh, hello, Cause! Welcome to another Lovely Angels fanfiction. Hooray! Today we're reading whatever the fuck this is. The only way I will donate my bone marrow is if you agree to my proposition, Andre answered. And what is your proposition, Alice asked. You have to marry me, Andre answered. ... Le gasp! It's almost as if we read this part of the summary. Le gasp! What? Clinese exclaimed. He can't be serious, Clinese said, brought to you by the Department of Redundancy Department. He seemed very serious to me, Alice said. You're not agreeing to it, right? Clinese asked. Clinese, I will die if I don't accept his proposition, Alice answered. Because keep in mind, Andre is also a narcissistic asshole. But you don't know anything about him, and I'm sure this is completely illegal for him to do. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's illegal. I mean, I don't know the rules in Denmark. Hell, I don't even know the rules in Texas. But still. What kind of troglodyte would force someone to marry him in this manner? What's his damage? Heather? Clinese asked. Illegal or not, I want to live, so I'll be accepting his offer. I think you should think about it some more time before you agree to anything, Clinese said. You're right, but he's only given me 2 days to think about it. What? What the fuck is wrong with him? The rules this kind of fan fiction follows. Why? Just why? Don't stand this car. Then think about it, Clinese said. You are right, DSI friend. This is pretty much an abduction. 23 September 2016. Alice drove to the address Andre had gave her to meet up and discuss his proposition of, forced marriage. Alice pulled up to the address Andre gave her. It was a tall, luxurious penthouse building. Alice got out of the car, parked, and walked into the building, apparently not feeling any sense of weakness from the leukemia. It was so very nice. She made her way to the elevator and all the way up to the yet top floor. She got off the elevator and made her way to Andre's front door. She took a deep breath and knocked. There was a few seconds of nothing. Then the door was wrenched open and there was a bodyguard who looked her up and down before stepping out of his way and allowed her to step into the penthouse. He's in the sitting room. Follow me, the bodyguard said, closing the door, then walking ahead of Alice. They walk around the long hallway, then appear in the sitting room where Andre is watching television. Andre, she's here, the bodyguard said. Thank you, Henriksen. You may return to your post, Andre said. Henriksen nods and walks away, leaving the two alone. Andre turns off the television and looks up at Alice. Have you made your decision? Andre asked. As the maid walks in with the tray in her hands, then places it on the coffee table and walks away. Brought to you for no reason whatsoever. Would you like something to drink? Please sit down and make yourself at home, Andre said as he points to the tray. Water would be just fine, Alice said as she sits down across from him. Very well, Andre said as he pours the water from pitcher into a glass cup and hands it to Alice. Why does your proposition involve marriage? Alice asked. Yeah, why does it? Like, what's the point? I cannot get any benefit from giving you my bone marrow aside from saving your life, so why not marriage? You know we're doing the whole in sickness and health part anyway, Andre answered. That's it? You want to have a marriage pact because you're saving my life, Alice asked. How is this romantic again? I really don't know. To reiterate, this fucker who's like in line for the Danish throne is so pissed off that he doesn't get any real benefits from donating his bone marrow to a rich woman that he decides the best thing to do is to force her to marry him in order to get the marrow. I mean, he's a monarch. Well, I mean, he's only 7th in line to the throne. Mary is more likely to get the throne first. Marry me or you die. More like marry me or you die. Yes, Audrey answered. And if I don't agree to it, then you won't donate, Alice asked. I won't donate, and you'll have to wait for another donor, which may take years, Andre replies as he takes a sip of his water. Alice stares at him in disbelief. Yeah, fucking Mary. Fucking Mary, nut. So what's the answer to the proposition, he asked. Okay, I'm gonna read the comments because I'm curious. OMG, this is so amazing, with one reply. Thanks. Continue reading next part. Chapter 1, Prince of Denmark. The answer to the proposition is to break a fucking bottle on his head. Yeah, but Henriksen is still there. Wait, you know what? Maybe they should test Henriksen to see if he's a match. And then they could fall in love. And then they would have a happy marriage. And they would have, like, 2 children. And then Andre would continuously stalk her because he is an absolute asshole. Clip that. 26 February 2017. Welcome to Denmark, Miss Christensen, the service agent said. So they weren't in Denmark at any of this time? What? Thank you, I said as I took back my passport, thanked the service agent, collected my bags, and moved forward to wait at departure terminals area for Andre. Looking at the sea of people approaching me, I didn't see Andre. I frowned in frustration. Where is he? I asked myself. Then I saw Henriksen walking towards me. Henriksen, Alice's one true love. I already ship Alice and Henriksen. Oh, great, he sent his bodyguard to come and get me. Hello, Miss Christensen, Henriksen said as he grabbed my luggages. Hello, Henriksen, and for the 10,000th time, call me, Alice, and I could carry my own luggages, I said. Sorry, ma'am. Protocol, Henriksen said. Wait, what? Were they supposed to be in Thailand? I don't fucking know anymore. Were they in Norway? Were they in Thailand? Were they in Mary's house? I don't know anymore. I'm stressed. Fuck, 7 viewers. Welcome, everyone. Welcome if you are new as well. Hope you're enjoying this mess. Whatever, I said, sighed, following Henriksen through the sea of people. Brought to you by the Department of Redundancy Department. This fanfic is a serious indictment of monarchy and is fundamentally unjustifiable position of privilege in society abused at will by members of a separate aristocracy. And this... I'm actually making plans to do a sequel for the Royal Aesthetic video, where I actually discuss my problems with monarchy. The one thing, I have a problem with is that there's a dress worn by, a princess that I want to get a replica of, or, something made in the spirit of. If you're curious about the dress itself, DM me and I'll show you it, and you will completely understand why I would want it. We passed through the main airport area. It was only 6:30 in the morning, so the airport was rather empty. I don't know why Andre had booked my flight this earlier, but I'm grateful. We made it outside and towards a huge black SUV with tinted windows. Another bodyguard held the door open for me as Henriksen placed my bags in the trunk. Is it the peacock dress? The peacock dress? I don't know what you're talking about there. Send me what you're thinking of, and I'll tell you if it's right. Thank you, I said as I climbed into the car and was met with Andre on his phone. Because remember, he's a douche. I have to call you back, he said, as soon as I made myself comfortable in his car. Hello, Alice, how was your flight? He asked as he pulled me to his side and gave me a hug and a kiss on the temple. It was nice, I answered. The last time I had seen Andre was 3 months ago when I had agreed to his marriage proposition, and then we had surgery. As soon as the doctor declared me healthy enough to travel, Andre booked me a flight to Denmark to stay with him and continue my treatments there. Send it to me. Okay. I don't necessarily have a copy of it on my phone. I know I have a copy of it on my laptop. Hang on. It's this one. Why won't you work for me? I know I can open this through my browser. Open with Vivaldi. There we go. This is the dress. This is the dress I want a replica of. Look at it. It's all its glory. I've nicknamed it the duvet cover dress. The only problem is, an actual duvet cover costs $200, and I cannot sew for the life of me. So, what do y'all think? Do you like it? Do you think it's beautiful in any way, shape, or form? It took lots of sleep. Are you talking about the peacock dress? Ah. Yes, the dress does look atrocious. That's why I want a replica of it. 'Cause it is terrible. If you zoom in, you can see that it's just a glorified duvet cover. Look at the little patterns and everything. But yeah, I'm gonna click on DSI's link now. Oh yeah, no. No. I have a rule about costumes I wear on my, videos. The rule is that it has to be something I would wear again, in a different context. And that's why almost all of my costumes are black by default, because that would be stuff I'd wear again. Anyway. At first I was against it, but he was pretty convincing on why I should come to Denmark. The reason being I should get to know the person that I will one day marry. Ironically, just before y'all were talking about random monarchs running around in wireless traffic, and so I was vaguely trying to parse the Russian and Lenin's what is to be done. Rah, rah, Rasputin, lover of the Russian queen. Henriks then climbed into the first passenger seat, and the bodyguard who had opened the door was in the driver's seat and pulled out into the flow of traffic exiting the airport. How is your sister, Clanice? I hope she's still not mad at me, Andre said. No, she's not mad anymore since you promised to pay for flights to visit me. Well, that conflict was immediately resolved. Ain't that grand, kids? Oh, yes. I guess saving money would be a good for her, Andre said. Clanice is just cheap, and when the opportunity presents itself where she doesn't have to spend her own money, she will take it, I said, looking out the window of the car. When we exited the highway, I assumed we were rather close to where Andre lives. The car turned down another road, this one less populated, and began to reduce speed. I glanced at a passing building and for the first time saw a sign with Amalienborg Palace. Why are we going to a palace? I asked Andre. I live there, Andre answered. Sir, I think it's time you tell her, Henriksen said. Tell me what? I asked. My name is Prince Andre of Denmark, Andre answered. You're a prince, I exclaimed. I mean, yeah, at least there's a semblance of plot here. Kind of, but I can't wait to see how they will fuck it up. Her own money, bread. They royals. No, according to the character page, Alice is a socialite. So she has money. She's just still a peasant. Chapter 2, Meeting His Family, March 2017. It's been a month since I arrived to Denmark and found out that Andre is a prince. Oh, look, everyone, it's Mary! She's back! Mary's back, y'all! So now living in Christian whatever's palace with Andre. Andre told me that his family knew someone was staying with him, but he wasn't going to introduce me just yet to them. At first I thought, how could you keep me away from your family for a month? But apparently the palace had 4 different palaces, so there was no way they would see me unless they came to the palace where Andre and I are staying, brought to you by the Department of Redundancy Department. But today, Andre came home and told me that I would be meeting his family. What? They went to have dinner with me, I asked. They went to meet my girlfriend, Andre answered. Girl... friend, I asked. Yes, I told them that you are my girlfriend, he answered. Why would you do that, I asked. Because you are my girlfriend, he replied. Ah, yes, the romanticization of abuse that always makes my heart smile every day of my life. Is the stream stuck for y'all? Or... But yeah, apparently she did not know. I'm Mary, Mary said as she reaches out to shake her hand, her eyes desperately glaring around for a camera. Hello, I'm Alice, Alice said as she reaches out and shakes her hand, then curtsies to her. Oh no, please do not do that. You do not have to curtsy to me. Forget my status, I'm just Andre's aunt, Mary said with a smile. Well, we already know this isn't realistic because we know Mary would never do that. For those of you new here, I absolutely love roasting the patron saint of our channel, Mary, Crown Princess of Denmark. Because she is like an absolute fake asshole. Oh, okay, Alice said as Andre watches her with a smile on his face. Frederick watches his nephew and Mary nudges him to introduce himself, as he is probably drunk. Hello, Alice. I am Frederick. I hope my nephew is treating you well, Frederick, brought to you by the Department of Redundancy Department, says with a smile. Andre is a great guy, Alice says through her teeth. That he is, and from what I hear, you are a talented girl, Frederick said. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Alice said. I only tell the truth, Frederick said. Is Frederick hitting on her? Never mind. I know you must be nervous meeting everyone. Andre, tells us that you had no idea he was really, and I understand that 100%. When I first met Fred, I did not know he was royalty, Mary said. That's a lie, by the way. Mary knew that he was royalty, she just did not know that he was the Crown Prince of Denmark. Chest rubbing was involved. Really? Alice asked. Yeah, I was shocked, but luckily he swept me off my feet after I engaged in some chest rubbing, Mary answered. Hopefully, Alice and I get to experience that type of love, Andre said, causing Alice to blush. I'm ready to throw my computer out of the window now! I think you guys will, Frederick said. Anyways, we wanted to meet you to get you relaxed to meet the rest of the family, Mary said. Then why wasn't it Andre's father and stepmother then? That would have been more relaxing. Line said. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. But I'll pepper in little facts about Mary because she's relevant in this chapter. Therefore, my Mary expertise is relevant. After a few minutes of talking, Alice was ready to meet the rest of the family. Mary had given her a pep talk, probably involving chest rubbing and Frederick being an alcoholic, and really calmed her nerves. They walk into the dining room to enjoy lunch. I thought it was dinner. They want to have dinner with me. They're having lunch now? What the fuck? To enjoy lunch with the rest of the family. You know, this story has the difference of, like, showing how the romance starts. I mean, that is true, Super Dark. They aren't just, like, copy-pasting press releases from wherever. Okay. Hello, dear. You must be Alice. I'm Marguerite, the chain smoker, Andre's grandmother. And please do not think about curtsying. We only do that if we are in public. Behind closed doors, we are a regular family, Marguerite said, lying through her teeth. Hello, Marguerite. Thank you for having me over and letting me live with Andre, Alice said. Henrique walks up to Alice, the dementia having not set in yet. I'm Henrique, Andre's grandfather. We've heard quite a lot about you. You're definitely as beautiful as Andre described, Henrique said as he shakes her hand. Oh, thank you, Alice said. Oh shit, I didn't know the bit about being an alcoholic. Well, it's an alleged thing. Allegedly, Frederick's an alcoholic. He just sobers up every now and then. It's alleged. Do not take my word as complete fact. Please do not. Goth Mom is not representative of the Danish royal family. It's based off of amateur analysis. Continuing. Oh, thank you, Alice said. Joachim then walks up and introduces his wife, Marie. Nikolai and Felix then appears. I don't know if you remember me, but we spoke on FaceTime a month ago, Nikolai said. And we would have shown that, but that would have led to character development, which is illegal in an Only Angels. In a Lovely Angels fic. What the fuck am I doing with my life? Yes, I remember you, Nikolai, Alex said. Great. Congratulations on your vote cover. You looked amazing in it, Nikolai said. Thank you, Nikolai, Alice said. Alice turns to greet Felix. Felix just pulls her to a hug. It's nice to see you again, Alex. And once again, sorry for scaring you, Felix said. And once again, don't worry about it, Alice said. I'm guessing in this universe, Joachim's 2 children with his second wife do not exist. Athena and the other one, I do not remember his name, and I do not care enough to Google it right now. What do you want? I asked Andre as he stood in front of my bedroom door. Apparently the dinner went well, there was no conflict to be had, and we could advance the plot. Hooray! Flower Gothic spokesperson for Danish royalty announced Wednesday to the press in Copenhagen that their emperor was wearing no clothes. I'm probably going to be put, like, on a watch list in Denmark now for this. Which is a shame, because my $666 Patreon goal was to go to Denmark and meet Mary. Or as I like to call her, Mary. Continuing. I'm taking you out for dinner, he answered. Really, I asked, as he grabbed my arm and led me down the stairs and out of the palace and into the car. After what seemed like a long car ride and a slightly uncomfortable conversation, which we would have shown, but that would have led to character development, which is illegal in an Onision fic. I mean, it's illegal in an Onision fic, too. It's illegal in a Lovely Angels fic. Andre had finally pulled into the restaurant. It was one of the nicest restaurants in town, brought to you by the Department of Redundancy Department. Andre parked the car and looked at me seriously. Tonight, we're announcing our relationship, Andre said. What do you mean, Alice asked. I may have tipped off paparazzi that Prince Andre and a mystery girl are having dinner here, Andre replied. Will chest rubbing be involved? Discuss! So that's your way of announcing you're in a relationship, Alice said. Exactly, Andre said. Can you feel the love yet? Can you feel the love that is burning in their veins and is making their heart beat with passion? Because, like, I went on, like, an actual date last night, and it did not go like this at all. So clearly, I'm not feeling any love in my life. Prince Andre spotted holding hands with girlfriend Alice Christensen on date in Copenhagen. The loved-up pair have been inseparable for the past 5 months, and first steps of the couple hand in hand add fuel to friends' claims that they will be engaged by spring. The friend, of course, being himself because he has no friends because he's an asshole. Also, loving up is a term used by a sex cult. Just saying. Pretty sure it's a coincidence, but just saying. Doting! Prince Andre took girlfriend Alice Christensen by the hand this week as they walked down a busy Copenhagen street after a dinner date. An onlooker said they tried to keep as low-key as possible and were sitting in a small, snug area of the restaurant. It is the first time the couple have been seen hand-in-hand in public, another sign that their blossoming romance is serious. What the fuck? And sources say Alice has virtually moved into Andre's home at Christian Whatever's palace with the couple inseparable for the past 5 weeks, mostly because he's been keeping her captive there. The friend added they've taken things to the next level, they're practically living together. She cooks for him, he pops out to the gym, and they're just enjoying hanging out. But the friend said that the couple have since stepped things up and suggested they had even spoken of marriage. You're a prince who will take your autonomy. Or a princess. The future of the monarchy is female. They added, I can see them engaged by spring. I know that sounds a bit crazily soon, but he's head over heels and they can't bear to be apart. I'm actually curious if they copy-pasted this as well. Let's find out. What the fuck is loving up supposed to mean? In terms of that sex cult, loving up means having sex with someone. Probably someone that isn't your spouse, who might also be a minor. And that's all I'll say about that. All of the results are just Prince Andrew and his controversy. Let me try a different. Nope. They actually wrote it this time. I'm impressed. Can you please load, Mr. Fanfiction? Chapter 3. Chapter 3. Why won't it let me go on to Chapter 3? There we go. Chapter 3. Who is Alice Christensen? The world went into a frenzy 10 days ago. It is partly because Prince Andrei himself is a high-profile royal, but everyone was also paying attention to the fact that Prince Andrei's girlfriend, Alice Christensen. Okay, you can tell they wrote this one themselves. They also forgot that it's in, they put it in the center font. Anyway, are you ready for some exposition that will be irrelevant later? Are y'all ready, kids? I'm not going to continue until you're ready. Alright, continuing. Alice Christensen is different from other girls that Prince Andrei has dated. She is biracial. The races have blended. And super successful. But what do we know about Alice Christensen? I apologize to everyone who is wearing headphones, by the way. Alice Christensen. Alice Vivian Lux Christensen, born 18 October 1996, is a Thai of Norwegian descent, model, businesswoman, and socialite. She is fluent in Thai, Danish, English, Spanish, French, and Norwegian. Alice's mother, Davika, is a Thai insurance company executive, while Alice's father, Robert Christensen, is a Norwegian property developer and the majority shareholder of high-rise, a property development company. Her elder sister, Clinice, born 4 April 1994, is a property developer and chief executive officer of High Rise, a property development company, at the age of 24. What could possibly go wrong? Christensen attended Regents International School, Pattaya, for primary and secondary education before moving to Bangkok Patana School. Christensen graduated of Bachelor of Arts in Science, Ohio State University in 2016. In 2015, Christensen founded her own company, Keanu Company, and development, investment, production, publicity, marketing, copyright operations, and other film and television-related businesses. She is also an investor in JetSmarter, a startup that allows people to rent private jets like they would in Uber or Lyft. She has also endorsed famous brands including Maybelline, Pantene, and Uniqlo. Christensen is the first Thai model who received the title of Friend of Louis Vuitton and became the first ever Thai celebrity featured on US Vogue. She has 44.5 million followers on Instagram, 25 million followers on Twitter and Facebook. Her popularity stems from various facts, whether that be that she is sweet, caring, and down-to-earth, and bouge, to everyone she encounters, whether it's her fans, producers, directors, co-stars, fashion designers, etc. Everyone who has worked with her can vouch for her on being ethical and professional with her job, making her an easy person to work with. I know, real estate. I hate her so much. Her hobbies are horseback riding, swimming, basketball, soccer, pottery, and painting. Her favorite foods are samtum, papaya salad, kaikem, salty eggs, nampliknum, grilled goat pepper paste, salmon, sticky rice, and fried chicken. Her favorite flower is the chocolate cosmos flower. The Danish royal court confirmed that Prince Andrei and Alice Christensen's relationship, by stating that the two are a couple and very serious. Andrei's romance with the model was revealed 10 days ago, but they had kept it secret for months. Andrei and Alice responded hand-in-hand for the first time while out on a date in London. I thought they were in Copenhagen! What the fuck is wrong with these people? couple cemented their relationship with Andre was reported to have gained the blessing of Alice's dad, Robert. I thought... Yep, his name's Robert. Okay, never mind. Let's continue. Chapter 4, Meeting His Friends. With a totally real photo right here. Hooray! 11 June 2017. That day's Kungis. Today is His Highness Prince Andre's 21st birthday. Who texted me? That's irrelevant. Username 1. Username 2. Danish royal family put on elegant display as Queen Margrethe hosts dinner party celebrating the 21st birthday of 7th in line to the throne, Prince Andre. Let's see if this was copied from anywhere. Yes, it was! Yes, it was! The exposition copy-paste is back! I mean, what else could I expect from the goddamn lovely angels? Danish royal family put on elegant display as Queen Margrethe hosts dinner party celebrating the 50th birthday of 6th in line to the throne, Prince Joachim. I'm gonna take it off reader view. It's realistic. What's the difference between Copenhagen and London? It's all Europe. Oops, all Europe. Imagine if that's an actual, like, cereal. It's like Oops All Berries, except it's all Europe. Anyway. Start from the beginning. Danish royal family put on elegant display. The Danish royals put on an elegant display as they arrived in dinner jackets and lavish evening gowns to attend a dinner at the Amalienborg Palace in Copenhagen this evening. Queen Margrethe, 79, is hosting a private dinner to celebrate the 21st birthday of her grandson, Prince Andre. Is hosting a private dinner to celebrate the 50th birthday of her son, Prince Joachim, the 6th in line to the Danish throne. Prince Andre and his girlfriend, Alice Christensen, are the first to greet his grandmother as his family followed. The crown prince himself, yada yada. We get the idea. Anyway, this is all irrelevant. Harry and Meghan Markle were there. Princess Beatrice was there. Former French ambassador in Denmark was there for whatever reason. The royals waved to the waiting crowds as they entered the whatever palace, the official residence of the queen and her family. They then entered the private dinner. It was already copy-pasted. We get the idea. 12 June 2017. Necker Island in the British Virgin Islands. What are we doing in the British Virgin Islands? I asked Andre. We're here on vacation to meet my friends, my inner circle, that will soon be yours when we're married, Andre answered. And what about my inner circle? I asked. Your inner circle only have 4 people, Alice, and they will be my inner circle too when we're married, Andre answered. Was that a thinly veiled threat? Did he threaten to murder her inner circle? As the old saying goes, infinite monkeys with infinite typewriters will eventually type an incoherent series of copy and pasted press releases from Scandinavian royalty. We haven't even read like a Norwegian fanfiction yet. We should do that once we're finished with this. The car pulled up in front of where we were standing and popped the trunk of the Lexus truck. Do royals even use trucks? I don't think so. Henriksen and Harold grabbed the bags and started to pile them up in the car. Then when all the bags were secured inside the car, we all piled inside. So do you like the British Virgin Islands so far? Andre asked me. Oh, it's so pretty, I answered, gushing about the beaches. Andre laughed. Yeah, it is. You don't see beaches like these in Denmark now, do you? Andre asked while laughing. I laughed a little too. After about 20 minutes, we reached the luxury resort. We exited the car and we were met with the resort staff. They greeted us and gave us drinks, and then we had been led to our room. Let's get changed, and then I will introduce you to my friends, Andre said. I can't do this, Alice said, frustrated as we walked towards the shared living room in the resort. Oh, we're on Andre's perspective now. How interesting. Like, they get away with it. They're royal. They can just murder people. I mean, fair, deciphered, fair. I can't do this, Alice said, frustrated as we walked yada yada. Relax, Alice, I said, holding her hand. What if they don't like me? Alice asked. You already met Harry and Beatrice, and they like you, so trust me, they'll like you too, I answered. Hey, Andre. Jack? Who's Jack? Says as he walks up and hugs me. Hey, Jack. This is my girlfriend, Alice. This is one of my good friends, Jack, I said, introducing the two. Nice to meet you, Jack, Alice said, shaking his hand. Nice to finally meet the girl who has captured our little Dre's heart, Jack said. Everyone, is so excited to meet you and probably embarrass Andre by telling you his most embarrassing moments, including the one time he curtsied to Queen Elizabeth instead of bowing his head, Jack said. What? Cousin Alice to laugh. Very funny. Let's go join everyone, I said. Okay, everyone, look who I found, Jack announced as we stepped into the living room. Andre, Amelia, exclaimed, hurrying up and hugging me. Hello, Amelia, I said, hugging her back, then she pulled away. Oh, you must be Alice. I've heard lots of things about you. All nice, I promise. Very nice, actually, Amelia said. I'm Amelia, his godsister, she added. Hi, Amelia. It's nice to meet you. I wish I could say I'd heard things about you, but Andre did not prepare me for meeting all his friends, Alice said. Andre is an idiot, and a narcissist, and an asshole. Trust me, I know and understand, Amelia said. Not true, I said. So true, Alice said. Alice and Amelia laughed. Okay, my turn. Hi, I'm Eugenie. Nice to meet you, Eugenie said as she reaches out to shake her hand. Alice reaches out and shakes her hand. I'm Alice, Alice said. I know that. Andre talks about you a lot in the group chat, Eugenie says with a smile. You guys have a group chat, Alice asked. I'll add you later on tonight, I answered. I don't know what to say. Let's head out to the beach, Harry said. Yeah, let's go change, Eugenie said. After everyone was ready, yes, a normal dialogue by normal people. We all went down to the beach. The guy outside brought some games to play. Eugenie, Amelia, and I laid out our towels and started to slather on our sunscreen. I put on my sunglasses and straw hat. Hey, you guys want to go into the water, Eugenie suggested. Yes, I answered. Let's go, Amelia exclaimed, and we ran to the water. We didn't technically swim, we just splashed each other with water, and after a while, the guys joined us. I started to feel lightheaded, then I started swaying back and forth. Alice, are you okay? Eugenie asked. I steadied himself and grasped my throbbing temples, panting heavily. Andre, catch her! Amelia called out before my body gave up the struggle to maintain consciousness and I passed out. Is Andre going to be all right? Eugenie asked Andre. Yeah, she's just exhausted, Andre said. You guys, she's awake. Peter, who's Peter? Said shouted from the hallway. Everyone quickly walked into the bedroom and found Alice removing the ice pack from her forehead. Alice, can you hear me? Andre asked, who was in the front of the crowd. Alice mumbled. What's my name? Andre asked. Andre, Alice answered. How many fingers am I holding up? Andre asked, holding up 4 fingers. 4, Alice answered, holding up 4 fingers, brought to you by the Department of Redundancy Department. Andre sighed with relief. She's okay, everyone, Andre said, momentarily turning towards the crowd before turning right back to Alice. What happened? Alice asked. You fainted from heat exhaustion. We placed a cold ice pack on your head, Peter answered. Thank you. I'll be okay, right? Alice asked. You'll be fine. You can just get some rest for now. Drink some water, Peter answered. Peter's a physician, so he knows what he's talking about, Andre said, holding Alice's hand. Sorry for scaring you all, Alice said. No, it's okay, Andre said. Photo 24 June 2017. Hello, grandmother, Andre said as he bowed his head to grandmother, grandfather, his uncle and father. When did we switch to first person? I don't even know anymore. Like, holy fuck. Hello, Andre. Please join us, Marguerite said. Not to be rude, but what is the purpose of this meeting? Andre said. Marguerite looks to Andre and says, I think it's time we discuss the seriousness of your relationship. Andre looks at his grandmother puzzled. Well, grandmother, you know how serious it is, he said. Do you love her? Frederick asked. Yes, he answered. Do you see yourself marrying her? Joachim asked his son. Yes, he answered. Exactly. Before Marie married Joachim, we made sure she had training and tutoring to join the royal firm. Okay. The same must be done for Alice, Henrik said. And Mary, Marguerite added. Of course, the success of Mary's quote-unquote training is questionable at best. I understand they all need to be aware of certain things before officially becoming part of the family, Andre said. I expect Alice to accept a title, and therefore she must learn to represent our country, Marguerite said. Well, we don't know that she won't decline a title, Frederick said. Trust me, Alice will 100% represent our country as my wife. The day she agreed to be my girlfriend was the day she accepted her role as a wife of a prince. Because I forced her to get a bone marrow transplant, because I'm a narcissist. Grandmother, you have nothing to worry about. Alice will make you proud, Andre said. Are you sure? Henrik asked. Yes, she is. Their regard changed from chapter 3, so I'll skip that. I did see a video of her at public event. She's very good at public speaking, Toichim said. Unlike the authors. Bam! Very well, then. She will be training royal protocol, politics, and presentation skills, Henrik said. Also, there's a high level of training and learning just about security, what we do at state banquets and functions. She will need a team of experts from a press secretary, personal assistant, hair and makeup artist, and of course her very own stylist, Marguerite said. A bonus with Alice is that she already has a team. All she needs is a press secretary, Andre said. Ultimately, you, Andre, will be your biggest mentor, Frederick said. I understand, Uncle, Andre said. And that's all I'm gonna do for now, gang. Because, well, it's like a 17-chapter book. We can finish this later. In the next chapter, Henrik dies, so we have that to look forward to. But for now, I'm gonna say adieu, and I'll see you next time.